But right now, one of the funniest men walking the face of the earth. Agreed. If you want to see one of the best pure stand-up comedians, period, ever, you watch this man. I don't have the notes. I know he has a podcast on YouTube. It's available everywhere podcasts are. But he will give me the website, angrily, no doubt. Mr. DiPaolo, how are you, sir?
Very well. Thanks for having me on, Steve boy. I want to be on a show that use strong language like asshat.
Well, I didn't use it. It was the president's son, who, by the way, refers to his dad as Donald Trump. So he was like, you know, they want to get Donald Trump. Like, wait, do you mean your father? Yeah, I call him.
What he said?
Yes. Imagine that Thanksgiving table. Yeah. Donald Trump passed the turkey. Donald Trump's passing the potatoes.
Like a stepkid talking to his stepdad. You know, hey, Jim.
Hey, wait a second. Just to be clear here, Nick Di Paolo right now is coming out of the closet, because when you told me that you started cigarettes and I said, have you considered vaping? You said, I don't want to be a fag. And now I see you've got your jewel. Nick, admit that that's a true conversation.
You couldn't be more wrong. I do both.
At the same time.
Switch hitter.
Anybody tells me anymore.
All right. So he's like
including this yellow fever we're experiencing.
Oh my God. All right, now.
No offense to your guest.
No, that's okay. It's only half of them. And by the way, he hates the Chinese government because he's not a member of it, just like the Chinese people in China.
Very true.
Let me ask you, first off, Nick, what's the plug? Where can people go to watch your show? Because you're all over the place.
NickDip.com. Monday through Thursday, we drop it at 5 Eastern time.
Okay.
NickDip.com. And you get, YouTube and
yeah,
all over the place.
And you're just tearing it up, and I'm glad that more people are watching you. Really, if you guys are looking for one of the funniest, well, I don't think that I've ever. I mean, Norm Macdonald is up there, but as far as just bust a gut laughing, we were driving back from Austin. The last Changed My Mind when Kiefer Sutherland showed up with a concrete milkshake.
Oh, that was great.
Johnny Boy and I were listening to Nick Di Paolo in tears, laughing to the point where my wife was with her noise-canceling headphones behind us, and she's like, "Shut up!" And she just didn't understand. Nick,
she sounds like a party animal.
She couldn't hear. You know, she was listening to soothing dolphin sounds or whatever it is, which wasn't so soothing when I told her that dolphins commit gang rape. It's an episode of Lock Up with Flipper, but she didn't get this. Hey, Nick, let me ask you. You moved from
gang rape. Hey, Nick.
Apologize, but I don't. So you moved from New York, and I don't think I'm letting the cat out of the bag. You've talked about this on air. You're in Georgia now, right?
Yeah, I moved to Savannah, and everybody was making fun of me when I left New York.
Yeah, because
I've been hiding behind body bags.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this: right now, has that provided you new perspective on this pandemic? Because when I lived in New York, I remember thinking, oh my gosh, if there's some kind of a disaster, I can't get out. I mean, if I wanted to get to work on a weekday and I was in the Upper East Side, I couldn't get on the Green Line, let alone if I wanted to get off the island. Has it changed your perception?
Absolutely. We were talking about this, and people are saying, why is New York such a hotbed? And I said to one of my comedian buddies, are you kidding me? Do you remember when you used to go to the men's room at the Comedy Cellar? You'd brush crotches with 3 guys on the way out by accident. There's nowhere to move. It's the most densely, it's just, and they're all laughing at me, and I came down here and absolutely love it. I was always sort of a northern redneck,
right?
At least according to my friends. But yes, I just like the attitude down here. I like Governor Kemp saying, "Hey, we're going to do what we do, all right? We're going to roll the dice."
And what's that looking like for you guys? Because it's very comparable to Texas, where we are, where I think a lot of people in New York, they think that folks in Georgia or folks in Texas are just throwing open the doors and going hog wild, and that's certainly not the case here. I would imagine.
Oh, I think it's working out great. My wife went to a nail salon and she got corona, so I think it's working out great.
Yeah, well,
it works.
I was just talking about that with my wife. Like, these restaurants, they have permission to open now, and they're not even opening.
Right.
So the media's got everybody scared. It's this. I'm sorry, I don't want to use the word sham, but it's such the statistics you were just mentioning.
Right.
So right on the money. If you're under 75 and you don't have lung cancer, you don't have much to worry about. Let's be honest here.
Right.
This is a bad flu.
Yeah. No, I think, and people tried to say that people were science deniers if you said that. It's like, well, hold on a second. Flu is 0.1, and the original death rates, I saw as low as 4, as high as 7. And really, let's say it's the least conservative estimate at this point, the most liberal estimate in New York from Cuomo. He said 0.5. That's still a lot closer to the flu, and certainly with young people, it's even lower. That's remarkable to me that a lot of people aren't opening. And Nick, here's one thing that I think. This is why it always surprises me when people say, like, oh, you're a comedian, but you're a conservative. You used to get whenever they did the Comedy Central roast, they'd talk about you being a Republican. I go, well, hold on a second. At least we're self-aware because, we understand when they say there's a new normal. We don't have a restaurant with 200 capacity, and Anderson Cooper's not demanding that we only have 60 seats in there. Like, we are not affected, and these people in the media are not affected by the new normal nearly as much as the average American business owner or worker. And I think at least we have some self-awareness that, we're privileged and that we don't have to worry about capacity, because that would destroy Georgia and Texas.
I guess it would, but I tell you, I'm hearing comedians talk, stand-up's never going to come back. And do you agree with any of that?
No, I think they're pussies. We never shut down. What you're seeing right now, we never shut down. I went to my employees and I spoke with my legal counsel here, my half-Asian lawyer. I said, there's an acceptable risk and there's an unacceptable risk. And then everyone said, oh yeah, no, we're 99% sure that we got it in January because 2 guys here we thought had it, and we do jujitsu in the office. So it's like they were, breathing and sweating into our face, like drag me to hell. So we all had it.
Everybody's saying that they had it, but I'm not kidding you. I know I had it. In the middle of March, I went to Chicago, right?
Oof.
I shook hands. I had 2 sold-out shows. Things are finally kicking. I had sold out 5 out of my 6 last shows. Finally making the money that I've been wanting to make for years. Never been happier. Not complaining about getting on a goddamn plane.
You poor son of a bitch.
What?
I said, you poor son of a bitch. Because I remember I was talking on the phone. You're like, I don't want to have to be going there and doing hilarities in fucking Hasbrook Heights. And now you're selling out theaters, and this thing hits because of the Chinese.
Yeah, I know. Somebody has some bat wing soup, but anyway, I shook hands after both shows. I'm not kidding you, Stephen. I must have shaken 200 hands after the shows, meet and greet. I walk into the green room and I go, hey, whose slice of pizza is that? And they go, you can have it.
That belongs to Mr. Morogatu. Yeah, he doesn't. He never finishes the second half.
No, it is okay. You can have it.
As I'm finishing the crust, I go, oh, geez. I feel fine that night. This is true. I get home. I go to bed. I wake up about 2 in the morning. I'm gonna have to use the bathroom. I get up and just like Cuomo said, my teeth were chattering, and my whole body was convulsing. I've never had chills like that in my life. Went to sleep, soaked through my sheets, and it happened the next night too. And I went to an urgent care. It was in a parking lot behind an Applebee's in Pooler, Georgia. So I'm sure it's a good one.
What? Not sure why we needed the Applebee's.
And they tested me, not for COVID, obviously, because this was early in the game, but they tested me for the regular flu. And I know I didn't have a fever because it broke the night before. So I test, but I know I've never had chills like that, and never soaked through my sheets. I think I picked something up at Zany's, ironically.
Yeah, I think that you possibly have the worst luck imaginable. So here's what I will say. I want you to prepare yourself for the fact that we're going to get back to normal, not a new normal. We'll get back. Your show's going to be doing really well. You'll continue selling out live events, doing your stand-up, and then the United States will be hit by a tsunami. So that's how this ends.
Why does it always have to be an Asian thing that ruins it?
It's funnier that way, and Asians don't fight back. So what am I going to do? Blame it on a black guy? What do I want to take my life in my hands, Nick? You're in Georgia. There are going to be people watching this who are of that ilk.
I love I'm in Savannah. I've never been happier, man. I just never been happier.
Yeah, it is a friendly. It's funny. I don't know about since we've dipped, we've walked into the racism closet. My experience.
That's what they call it. Yeah.
Well, I am. My experience is always. You tell me about if this is yours. My experience with black women who are older, like over the age of 50, is fantastic, significantly above the societal average. They're always nice. They're always you always make their day if you give them a compliment. But then with black women my age, and Quarter Black Garrett has testified to this, far more grumpy. There's a weird generational gap where
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I only date black women over 60.
Well,
It's a good rule.
There you go. That's how he got the COVID, was banging Aunt Jemima. So, right. Listen.
Are we on the Blaze or something?
This is streaming everywhere. We've already been banned from YouTube because we ran a clip of doctors saying, like, we shouldn't lock everybody down, and Facebook banned our freaking page, so I don't care.
I know. I saw that guy, Eric said, there's a guy from the World Health Organization, was it today or yesterday, saying that Sweden is now the model we should be following.
Yeah.
They don't know what the F they're talking about. Can I say F?
You can say whatever you want, Nick. I don't really care. This is live.
I never know with you. I came on years ago and I demonetized your whole fucking thing.
No, that's not true. You know, Nick puts on this front, but he's really a big softy at heart. Do you know how I know? Because when he was on my show for the second time, I was in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I remember because I was driving past Madcap, I picked up a cup of coffee. I get a call from Nick Di Paolo. Well, you know what? I shouldn't. It's illegal in Michigan because it's, you have that authoritarian wench over there. And I hung up. Okay. Then I get another call from Nick Di Paolo. Hang up, ignore. Get another call from Nick Di Paolo. And as far as I'm concerned, if someone calls me 3 times in a row and doesn't text, someone must be dead. Instead, I pick up, and Nick Di Paolo, this is the very first thing. Are you out of your fucking mind? I go, what? He goes, doing your podcast there, trying to plug my show in Minneapolis. You got my face next to a picture of fucking Muhammad. It was on the thumbnail from the Bob Ross sketch, and you were freaking out, and I was so surprised.
You're the only one. That's the only time I was a little bit scared. This is about 2 days. This is about 2 days after 8 Jews were slaughtered in France for drawing a journalist.
Yes.
It was.
I remember,
it was a little. I like to let it die down here.
No. So
I'm gonna get killed. Stephen, no disrespect, but I'm going to get killed by a Muslim. I want it to be on my own terms.
Right, yes. Right, you'll write the satanic jokes. Okay. Nick Di Paolo, we do have to get going and watch the Bill Gates Illuminati Town Hall. Where's the best place for people to find you? NickDip.com. And we record it in the afternoon, drop it at 5 o'clock Eastern. And it's on Facebook and everywhere else, YouTube. And it's finally catching on. And nice. You're an inspiration, Steve, so I appreciate it. Well, don't say that, because it'll be like that Blue Angels air show where everyone followed the leader and went and stuck the landing. So please follow somebody else. Bill Gates could be a good example.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Nick. We appreciate it, brother. Everyone, go to nickdip.com, one of the funniest men alive.